With all the billing that you can do in Powercode, after a while it seems to get a little difficult to categorize all of the charges, whether it's installation charges or residential charges, commercial charges. It gets kind of difficult to report on those and to categorize them effectively. So in order to do that, we have what's called an account class. And it seems like it's a kind of a little known part of Powercode, and I think it can be very useful. So let's take a look at how to set that up and why we'd want to do that. In this example, we have a commercial account. It's a business just trying to get set up with internet. And if we go to the billing tab, we can see that we've already added a commercial install charge to them. Now, the thing is, I'd really like to have a report that separated this out and categorized some things, and I'd really like to be able to make my own labels. So let's kind of take a look at where this all comes together here. This is the account class report. It takes all of the charges and payments and just basically every line item in Powercode, and it categorizes it. And so there's what's known as a parent account class, and these are hard-coded into the system. Monthly internet access income. Big surprise, it's monthly internet charges in Powercode. And sometimes you'll see credits here, and that might be when you do a reversal for a charge, or you prorate and they get a credit, something to that effect. We also see that there are two columns here, two rows actually, where we have them split up. We have residential items and then other. So this is an example of how under this parent account class, we have a sub-account class. Anything that's not in its own specific sub-account class will be shown up as other. And we can see that in other monthly income, other income, credit card payments split up by the card type, ACH payments. I mean, it just kind of goes on. And that parent account class is the defining factor for how it's getting categorized here. And then just to touch on taxes here, this part has led to just a little confusion. We wanted to have taxes show up both by tax zone and tax type so that you could pull a list of all of the charges that were created whichever way you want to categorize them. So this running total that's coming down the line here, you'll see that once it gets past the tax zones and to the tax type, this value is actually not changing. And that's because it's not going to record that balance twice. Now, the real question here is, why are all these hyperlinks on the page? And I can tell you that it's because we want to be able to export this whole report, and we also want to be able to go into the individual reports within and print out every line item that is my monthly internet access income for the time period that I selected. And so we have all of that information here. Back on the report, the last thing we want to talk about with this is, well, I see that I have one sub-account class here, but what if I want multiple? How do I create new ones? How do I apply them? So to do that, we will go to items and account classes, and we'll see that we have a lot of options here. We have drop downs that show us all the parent account classes, and here's my drop down for sub account class. Now these are three that I've made so far, and what I want to do is I want to show you how to apply them to services in your Powercode system. Now when you come to this page, you probably won't have any sub account classes created. So all you need to do is click on Add Sub-Account Class, type in the label that you want, and click Submit. Once that is done, you can go to your services, go and edit one of your services, and now that you have a sub-account class created, you'll see that this drop-down is now visible. And so if we click on that drop-down, we see the same options here. I can go ahead and create this as a commercial service. And now when I save this, it's going to retroactively categorize every charge that's been created for this service, and it's going to put them under the commercial sub-account class within the monthly internet items from that account class report we were just looking at. And the same thing for the commercial install. You'll notice that I did not have to create multiple sub-account classes in order to do this for different types of service. You just create the label and you can apply it to anything. Now, what I'd like to do is go back to the reports dashboard and reopen the account class report. I'm just going to run it for the whole year. This test system doesn't have that much data in it. So now, where we just saw residential and other, we now see residential, commercial, and other. And then down in other income, which is our one-time charges, we'll see that that $500 charge that we created is also being classified under the commercial category here.